The following slideshow presentation will give you necessary context information for a better understanding of the novel Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck was born in Salinas, California in 1902. His two most famous books are Of Mice and Men, published in 1937, and The Grapes of Wrath, published in 1939, which went on to win the Pulitzer Prize. Both books demonstrate Steinbeck's use of real characters and situations that he witnessed in the Salinas Valley in California during the Great Depression of the 1930s. After the U.S. won World War I against the Germans in 1919, the United States underwent great social and cultural changes. The 1920s entered in what is called the Jazz Age. Women bobbed their hair and shortened their skirts. Movies with stars like Rudolph Valentino began to draw millions every week. Jazz music and radios became nationwide crazes. Conservatives got their way when the 18th Amendment to the Constitution made the manufacture and sale of liquor in the United States illegal. The economy was booming, and President Herbert Hoover predicted a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage for all Americans. Many middle-class Americans had more money than they had ever had before, and so more and more of them ventured into the stock market, speculating on the prices of commodities and buying stocks on credit. When those stocks did not make as much money as speculated, people who had bought them on credit had to sell them at a loss. As a result of so much speculation and buying on credit, the market crashed in October 1929. Many banks in the early 1930s experienced runs, or panics, when anxious depositors wanted to get their money out before the bank had none left. More and more people were affected by the Depression. At one point, 25 million Americans, or 25% of the workforce, was out of work. And to further complicate things, the 1930s were a period of great heat and drought in the farming areas of the country. Farmers lost their crops, and after several years of drought and failed crops, they would eventually lose their farms. Just when American farmers thought that things couldn't get worse, it did. After years of inefficient and damaging planting and plowing techniques, American farmers had weakened the topsoil of their farms. Add to that record heat, drought, and the big winds that blow out on the plains, the result was a series of devastating dust storms, so many, in fact, that the period was called the Dust Bowl. Entire towns and farms would be covered with dust and dirt when a dust storm came blowing in. Farmers, already hampered by the drought, lost everything, and the banks foreclosed. With their farms and homes lost to bank foreclosures, farmers had to relocate. And so, many of them migrated to California, where they heard the Depression wasn't so bad and where there were plenty of jobs for everyone. These migrant workers were known as Okies, even though many of them were from states other than Oklahoma. Their destination was the San Fernando Valley in California, a fertile valley where farmers grow vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Of Mice and Men takes place in Salinas, located in the western part of the San Fernando Valley. The problem was California had been affected by the Depression too, and there weren't plenty of jobs for everyone. And so, when the Okies and other migrants would come into an area looking for work, they were rarely met with open arms. And so, this is how the novel begins, with two migrant workers walking down a country road in California looking for work.